Hello, my name is Kate Wilson, and I am a marketing major at Texas Tech. And this is my project for 1302 English. So, the name of my project is Alternatives to Animal Testing and Are They Worth It? So, some background info. Animal testing, also known as animal experimentation, is the act of performing experiments on live animals for research purposes. It is used primarily to ensure the safety of medicine and other products, such as cosmetics. According to People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, also known as PETA, each year over 100 million animals are killed in the US alone due to animal testing. The issue. It is clear that animal testing is a moral issue and an ethical issue. With technological advancements, scientists have created alternatives to animal testing that don't involve harming innocent animals. The issue now is switching from old fashioned practices to newer alternatives. Some scientists believe that these alternatives run the risk of being not as effective, even though there has been countless studies, which will be discussed later. And the reason why this issue relates to almost everybody is because majority of the products we use, including cosmetics and animals, have derived from animal testing. So right now I want to show you a quick video from Liberty Research to show the reality of animal testing.
If you were to draw by this
I know that was not a pleasant sight to see, but that is the reality of animal testing. These animals are not being treated in a humane way. And a lot of people think it's just lab rats or frogs or that type of things. No, it's cats, dogs, rabbits, it's pets that we have at home. So next we're going to discuss stasis theory. So my argument in the audience, the consumer of the products that are being tested on animals, agree on the issue that animal testing is a problem and it should be stopped. So we are in stasis for fact. But what should be done? Should we turn to alternatives or should we just remain the same since it has always worked in the past? This argument falls out of stasis at policy. So next are some alternatives that have been created to take the place of animal testings. This includes computer modules, cell and tissue cultures, and the use of lower invertebrates, vertebrates, and microorganisms. So computer models. One study from Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health suggests that computer models might be able to take the place of animal testing. The researchers of this study mined a large database of known chemicals they created to map the relationship between chemical structures and toxic properties. They found out that they could predict they could use the map to automatically predict the toxic properties of almost any compound more accurately than a single animal test could. So the tests were found to be 87% accurate compared to only 81% accurate when testing on animals. And another plus side to this would be you're saving a lot of resources because when testing on animals, you're using a life of an animal, and also those animals require food, water, and other care. So essentially, they would enter a chemical in this database and it would just be shown if it would be toxic to the human body. Another alternative would be cell and tissue culture. More and more scientists are realizing that results on animals don't all exactly translate to humans. This is obvious because we don't have the same genetic makeup. So, three-dimensional tissue engineering renders human organ specific models. These cell cultures are made in controlled environments to mimic that of humans. Obviously, when making these models, they're going to make it as lifelike as possible for human circumstances. We don't live in laboratories. We live in the world where there's different temperatures, different things in the atmosphere, and so on. So 3D cell culture's popularity is increasing rapidly. It is projected to reach $1,846 million in the US by 2024. So just to kind of sum up what cell and tissue culture is that in these petri dishes, they can take a cell from a human and essentially create a model in the laboratories. They've done this for hearts, lungs, livers, and other organs, and that's pretty impressive. The next alternative would be the use of lower invertebrates, vertebrates, and microorganisms. So, lower invertebrates, vertebrates, and microorganisms are fairly simple organisms. They do not feel pain nor suffer the same way that the animals that are currently being tested on are. This is due to, say, you take a single-celled organism such as an amoeba, it's not going to feel the same pain as, a rat or a dog. Obviously, it's not going to give the same results either, but these organisms would be a perfect replacement for biology experiments and other simple experiments. And you would think, oh, that's not a big deal, biology experiments. I'm sure we've all done them, in our freshman biology class where we dissected a frog, or I dissected a pig fetus, but approximately 10 million animals die in classrooms across the US for crude purposes such as dissection. So, the takeaway. So, the alternatives previously mentioned have been studied and proven to be more accurate than archaic practices of animal testing. So, where do we go from here? What can you and me as the audience do about this issue? So, number one, you can donate to charities such as PETA and the Humane Society. These are animal rights activists that are actively trying to stop animal testing or at least reduce it. So these are the organizations that are actively trying to make a change. And then another thing that is pretty simple is use products, if you can, that are cruelty free. So I will include a link in the bio of this YouTube video for the PETA and Humane Society if you feel like you should donate. But I hope that you can take this information away from this uh, presentation and hopefully we can create a change. So here are my works cited, and I just want to say thank you for everybody who have listened to this.